Dave, thank you for being here with us. How is the community responding this evening? How are students doing on campus?
Yeah, they're here with heavy hearts, Lexi, and behind me is an iconic fixture of this campus. I should know, I attended Michigan State University. I worked in Lansing after graduating, so I spent years here, and Sparty is well known in the shadow of Spartan Stadium, and I'm going to step out of the way now so you can see what I'm seeing, and that's many bouquets of flowers. After all, it is Valentine's Day, so they were repurposed, a show of love put there by students who have school canceled right now. They were told to go home and be with their families. Some of them couldn't do it or chose not to, and so they found their own families here, taking those Valentine's bouquets, laying them at the feet of this icon. They came here because they wanted a moment of silence. They wanted a moment of calm in stark contrast to the chaos and anxiety that they experienced just 24 hours ago. An eerie calm 24 hours after a mass shooting. Quiet on campus as classes and activities are canceled so that students can be with families if they so choose. Families come in many varieties after a tragic event.
We are gathered tonight because an act of unspeakable gun violence has occurred in our nation, this time in our community.
Just off MSU's campus, the Eastminster Presbyterian Church opened its doors to allow grieving to begin.
We pray for those who have been spared and yet whose lives will be forever marked by last night.
Throughout the day on campus, though, many found their own way.
I think it's really nice. I think it's a good thing for the community to bring people together, to give them a space to mourn and feel comfortable.
A way which often led to the Sparty statue or the Rock, both landmarks at MSU.
Right now, I think it's all about just trying to care for one another and see what one person needs.
Here, strangers comfort one another, use Valentine bouquets to show their love for those touched by tragedy.
When you think of Michigan State and the Sparty statue, usually on game day, it's a exciting crowd to be around, and now it's kind of the darkest place on campus right now with everyone coming here, putting flowers down, saying some prayers, and just remembering the fallen.
To let others know, whatever may come, they are at least here together now.
Feels like you hear about this all the time, and actually experiencing it, it's hard to realize what's actually happening to you in the moment. Yeah. But it definitely felt very real the whole night, and it was just, I mean, it was terrifying.
You can just try to get back to as normal as possible, which it seems like will be nearly impossible, but yeah, just gotta hope for change at this point.
And one thing is clear, that people just want to be together, right? They want to just grieve with another human, and they're going to have the opportunity to do that here on campus. There's a vigil planned at the Rock, which I featured in the piece that you just saw. So around 6 o'clock here on the campus of MSU, we're told the president of the university, along with other dignitaries and officials, will hold a formal vigil, candlelight vigil, and then across town in Ann Arbor, the rival school, Michigan, they're going to have a similar vigil there in the Diag, a famous landmark of their own on their campus, for students there to show their support, because obviously this happens to not only this community, but it ripples out beyond, far beyond, across the nation. I mean, it's a human problem that we're all dealing with right now. So people want answers. They want to figure out a way to be together, and they're going to have an opportunity to do so tomorrow. Lexi, back to you.
Yeah, and Dave, unfortunately, this comes too on the 5-year anniversary today of the Parkland mass shooting. Just horrible to see all of this continuing to happen. And you mentioned some unanswered questions, one of those being the motive of the suspect in this case, and then also the status of the 5 other victims who are at the hospital. Is there any update on either of those two things?
Yeah, the motive one might be a hard one to come by, right? Because obviously the suspected shooter took his own life without answering any questions. We did know that they found a note in his pocket indicating that he had plans to possibly do this somewhere else in the country. As far as the other 5, the only update that we're getting is critical condition. Each 5 their own separate case, so they wouldn't elaborate more beyond that they're still fighting for their lives in Sparrow Hospital just down the road. You mentioned the other shooting that took place, that's being the 5-year anniversary here in Michigan, just down the road from here is Oxford. I spoke yesterday with a mother who has a student that attends here at MSU who also was a survivor of the Oxford shooting. So the PTSD that they experienced, both of them, and speaking with me over the phone, just relaying that information, unimaginable to go through this once, think that that was a once-in-a-lifetime event. Thankfully, I'll never have to endure it. And then 15 months later, go through it again. Unimaginable, to say the least.
And at such a young age. And one last question for you, Dave. Is there any idea there of when we could hear from police again?
Yeah, they said that they were done giving updates. They're right from the start, they said how transparent they're going to be. So on the hour, during the active search for the shooter, and then subsequently after the shooter took his own life, the suspected shooter took his own life, they were giving updates on the hour. That stopped earlier today. They gave their final update saying that we're going to take a few days. We're going to try to piece this all together. We know that they executed some warrants at the suspected shooter's residence, so hopefully they'll be able to filter through some of that information, and maybe by the next update they will have a little bit more in terms of motive, and hopefully some more updates and hopefully good news on those 5 that are recovering in the hospital right now. Lexi.
Okay, thanks so much. Fox 2's Dave Spencer live in East Lansing tonight. We appreciate it, Dave.